Hi, my name is Dr. Robin Abramczyk, and I'm a dentist, a general dentist with Smile Ranch Dentistry. I practice with a holistic and natural approach. I'm here today with our blog writer, Michael McNeil.
Hello, everybody.
And we are here to talk to you today about type 3 diabetes and also EMF mitigation. Michael, what can you share with our viewers today?
So I would say that type 3 diabetes is like on the forefront of like a new diagnosis for diabetes. So the main cause, though, of it, of what they found, and actually it's funny how they did this study. They were studying people who are on treadmills. Treadmills give off electromagnetic radiation, believe it or not, just from the electronics that's in them. And a lot of times, even those types of devices are wireless. They have some sort of Bluetooth capability or Wi-Fi capability built into them. And what they realized is when they were testing markers in the blood and just overall stress markers, they were going up, and it wasn't just because of exercise. So they wanted to isolate and find out what is causing that blood sugar increase. When you're exercising, it shouldn't necessarily increase it so high, right? So what they were finding out is that the more that the cells in the body were bathed in EMFs, now EMF is electromagnetic frequencies, and there can be good frequencies or there can be bad frequencies. So the bad ones are Wi-Fi, it's your cell phone, it's computers, and basically we're bathed in them all the time.
Right.
So
microwaves. And they can even come from your neighbor's microwave.
That's right. Smart meters
that
they just put on everybody. Huge. Yes. And so what they're finding is that when you look at, through microscopy, when you look at a cell that is bathed in EMF, it's literally physically misshapen. So it's out of form. It's stress. It's showing signs of that type of stress. Well, that directly affects the blood sugar, but that also affects a whole host of other things. I just use type 3 diabetes to kind of introduce the fact that these EMFs cause a dramatic breakdown of things in the body, and we need solutions to those problems, which we are loaded with here in Smile Ranch, and I'm sure in our own personal lives. And I just want to kind of give the patients some take-home things that they can do today to protect themselves. So number one thing I would do that's important is minerals, believe it or not. So minerals have a negative ionic action that shield the body internally from the positive ion. And I know that sounds a little bit confusing. Negative are good in this example, and positive are the bad ones.
Right.
So if you take a high-quality mineral supplement, do like things we've already suggested, bone broth, right? Seaweeds are really good. And having like fat-soluble things, so making sure that you take those minerals. You have coconut oil, you have grass-fed butter, ghee.
Trace minerals is something I always like to recommend.
Yes, for sure. Concentrace is one of my favorite products. It's just a little drops that you put in your water every day and you drink it down. So that's kind of building on the internal side. It's also a more cost-effective approach, because when we get into some other things that we're going to talk about, they tend to be a little expensive, but I see the value in it because some things that you get, you can wind up protecting for a long term, and it's something that you don't necessarily think about because it's something you wear or you put on your cell phone, or it's like a salt lamp that you buy for your home. All these things are going to be like additional ways that you can do to negate the EMF radiation that's going to affect the body. Do you have anything that you do?
Well, yourself? Absolutely. I think some basic things are, I'm not a big fan of the Fitbit.
Gotcha.
And we see a lot of these moms, and these babies are just like, mom is saying, hey, these babies aren't nursing on the left side where, they prefer, and we can't find anything other than they have a Fitbit. Take it off. Get your cell phone away from your baby. Get it away from your children. Don't be one of those moms. Get the cell phone away. Turn it off at night. Keep it at least 6 feet away from your head, and or turn it off at night. Even having like the alarm clock by your head is also something else that you might want to consider moving it to a different part of the room away.
Definitely. And for people, there's a YouTube video, because a lot of people say, well, that's just a myth, Dr. Robin, cell phones don't emit that kind of radiation, but you can literally, they put 8 different cell phones around in a circle, and they pop a pop of popcorn with the amount of radiation coming from one call to all 8 phones.
And then the whole association with glioblastoma since cell phone.
Yes, oh my goodness.
There's a book called Cell Phone. It's a very good read.
My friend actually, she had got one on her right side. She'd always talk on her right side, and this is before she learned about negating EMFs, and the tumor started forming underneath her ear.
Yeah.
And so we do need to be aware that it is a real kind of cause. So some things that I do in my home, I have salt lamps. That's just
Love
a
salt
great
lamps.
love.
They're all around the office here.
They're everywhere. Even diffusing essential oils, I love, because they have
the frequencies.
Frequencies that are negating the bad frequencies. There are a couple other things that I do. There's actually things that you can plug into your wall. There's a company I use called Safe Space. There's other things where you can buy like quantum discs. And if you just Google some of this stuff, you'll find like a whole host of information.
You can put those on your cell phone.
Yes.
You can put different things on your mattress.
Yes.
Another thing that I love recommending is getting outside.
Yes.
Getting outside, grounding, feet on the ground, expose as much skin as possible to the sunlight. To the nascent sunlight. Very, very important. Getting your feet on the ground.
Definitely.
And doing this daily.
Yes.
Especially the morning light, because we have different cycles, and so between the hours of 8 and 10, I know that's hard for some of us, but it's really important to get out there. Get your kids out there.
Yeah, because I was going to say too, there's a lot of studies that show that the further you're away from the Earth's natural radiation, the higher risk you are for cancer, heart disease, heart attacks.
Yeah.
All that goes up is because we're meant to be close to the Earth. And we also see that in astronauts. So when they leave the Earth's atmosphere, which is natural for us to be in, bone loss occurs,
Yeah,
and all these
absolutely.
in a rapid rate. So I would also say, if you're living up in high stories, find a way to come down. If you can, then like you said, go out and get grounded, or buy a grounding sheet. They have grounding pillow shams. They have
absolutely.
all these different things that can help you, utilize that inside your home.
And that goes back to building up the voltage in your
Yes.
body. A lot of us have this electron still syndrome where we're constantly fatigued. We can't go to bed until 11 or 12 o'clock at night. We wake up tired as can be, and then we have all of these EMFs around us, and it's just electron still. We're trying to get those electron donors to bring our voltage back up.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
I love it.
that.
Very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us today.